As you can see, I am back in Utah. It's been over 3 years since I've been down here. Really excited to get out into some of this red rock country again. I've only done a mile or two into this very first trail, and it's already exceeded my expectations with the kind of scenery I wanted to come down and see. Just beautiful, these red rocks, the contours, so fun to see and just so different from Oregon. I did drive down from Oregon yesterday. Here's a quick little recap of getting down here. Well, it was dark when I got here, so I don't really know what I have. I think the Bonneville Salt Flats are out there.
The temperature did not drop much at all during the night. For the first time ever, I slept with all the tent windows fully opened. I very quickly broke camp and moved on. I wasn't planning on visiting the Bonneville Salt Flats, but since I'm up so early and I was camped right on the shore of this massive dry lake bed, I might as well take a quick look.
When I was rolling out there looking for some place to camp last night, obviously it was dark and I knew I wasn't very far from town, and I knew the area was, well known as some place where you can disperse camp because you're not supposed to camp out here on the salt flats. And I could kind of see that there was that RV over there, but it was 9:30 maybe when I rolled up there. I quietly set up camp, went to bed myself. About 1:30 in the morning, I got woke up by a car coming down the road I was camped along, and it went right up that RV. Eventually I could see there was someone with a flashlight going around doing something. Saw the flashlight shine towards me a couple of times. Finally, about an hour after they got there, a generator started up. So they kicked up a generator, and I was like, well, that's not the most wonderful thing to listen to, but at least that had some sort of sense of normalcy. Okay, they needed to get their generator going, whatever. Well, about 6 o'clock this morning, I woke up and realized I could hear music thumping. Those people had music going, and I looked out the window over there, and they also had a massive fire burning. I'm not talking about a little campfire. This was a huge, that fire had to be towering more than me. By the time I got out and carefully got any shots of it, the fire was quite a bit smaller than it had been. Anyway, I decided to just get up, pack up, come enjoy the sunrise on the playa.
Now it's a beautiful day, wonderful colors out there. I did not get 100% lucky with the weather because it is around 100 degrees here today. And those of you who have been watching my channel for any length of time know that I don't do too well in the heat, but I knew what I was in for. I came down here and I knew it was going to be hot. And I tried to keep thinking of the last time I was just miserably cold and wet so I can just appreciate all of this heat.
This road actually leads out to a trailhead for a short hike I'm planning to take. It's a little rough and slow going in places, but nothing really technical to conquer. I've paused at a high point just to take in the vista, but wow, look at those weird rock formations over there.
Well, I had aired down to 22 PSI when I got off pavement, really for comfort more than anything else. This is definitely what's considered an easy trail out here. I wasn't super happy with the grip as I climbed up those steps. I felt like tires could have been a little grippier there if I had been aired down more. So I went ahead and stopped and took them down to 16. So I don't know if there's anything more like that, but you know, now I've got a little more grip and also will soften my ride a little bit more even still.
A lot of this trail goes over slick rock, so the path is actually painted on there, so you know where to go. Oh, wow.
This arch is one of two right next to each other out here, called Gemini bridges.
Get a sense of that? Oh, wow. Oh, that's super cool.
From here, they seem sort of below ground, but that's because we're essentially right on the rim of a small canyon.
And here, this is the top of that arch that we were just looking at, and it does make a bridge. You can go right over. There is a gap down there. Oh, so there's like a second arch there. That makes, oh, it's probably so hard to see. I guess that's why it's called Gemini bridges. Twin bridges. They're right next to each other. This one's nice and wide. I don't know if we'll walk across the skinny one.
Rising from the horizon beyond are the La Salle Mountains, which I'll be getting up into later this week in an attempt to acclimate to higher and higher elevations.
Well, almost 2 days of driving to get here, and I've just driven one fairly short trail and taken one really short hike, and already I am just beyond expectations. Everything is just bigger and better than I was even expecting. And I've been in Utah before, but man, I tell you what, it's just so... I don't have words. This is a very satisfyingly different scenery and terrain, and it feels very exotic. Now, one thing that may prove to be a complication out here is that I was not aware, at least in this area, you're only allowed to camp in designated spots. You can't just camp in a logical camping spot. I've seen a bunch of spots out here on this trail that are obviously spots where people used to camp. There are even fire rings, but they've all got these no camping signs. Hopefully, one of the designated campsites that's down sort of near the beginning of the trail will be available. If not, I may have to go out onto some less notable BLM land and find some place for tonight. So I planned this trip, or at least the Utah segment of this trip. I planned the way I usually plan my trips, which is I looked at satellite imagery, I looked for things that look like they might be cool areas, and marked them down in Gaia GPS. As I found spots on both in Google and in Gaia, I would go and research them. And there aren't really any big secrets out here, like all the trails, everybody knows all the trails. Almost without fail, if I found some kind of name, I was able to research it and usually find a video or two showing someone doing that trail. There's another campsite that is marked no camping. So a few of the things that I spotted from satellite imagery, I thought, oh, look at that, looks really cool. Looks like some canyon views, whatever. And then I'd find the video for it and I'd be like, oh no, I'm not doing that by myself. So there's some pretty gnarly stuff out in this area. And you know, my goal is not to come out here and do hardcore rock crawling. I want to see scenery. I just want to see cool scenery, and I just want to be able to get there.
I'm just randomly exploring some of the other roads that spur off the Gemini Bridges route, kind of hoping I'll get beyond the restricted camping area and find a legit dispersed campsite.
So I'm out at the end of this dead-end road. Check this out.
It's kind of hard to decipher on screen, but I found myself at the edge of another small canyon that cuts through this area.
There are some lines. There's like a line that goes across the canyon there. You can see that. And then these other lines that go to it. Man, I don't know what people do on that, but no thank you. Okay, I found another access point. Different view of that canyon.
It's hard to get a sense of scale here, but that's about a 500-foot drop based on the topographical data on the map. That's the equivalent of about a 50-story building. Something has caught my eye across the canyon, and oh wow, there's a tent pitched over there.
Well, I was convinced I had found a legit campsite. There was nothing blocking it down there like many of the campsites had. There was not a no camping sign, just a thing that said no vehicles, which, you know, yeah, so you can't go off that way. A fire ring that looks like it's been pretty recently used. But I was just walking around and I realized, oh, no camping. Well, here's a little designated camping area for legit campsites in here. I'm assuming they're gonna be full. See if we get lucky.
not bad after all. I was convinced this little designated camping area was going to be full. There are only 5 designated camping spaces here. I saw 6 vehicles on the trail today, and I imagine possibly there were some that I didn't see. So I was sure I was going to come in here and every campsite would have somebody in it. But they're all empty. There is nobody here at all. I am stunned. It's kind of tucked into this little box canyon. It's pretty cool. And there's like a double arch right up over there, and these like spires over there. Now I normally wouldn't fly my drone over a camping area, but since there's nobody here, I went ahead and got some aerial views. That other campsite that I thought was legit was really nice, but I can't complain at all. This is really cool, really neat being in this little canyon here. The one downside here, I would say, is that it's so protected that the wind is not blowing through here. Up above, there was kind of a breeze coming across the desert. It's not blowing through here, and so it is just hot. There's no air movement. It would have been cooler out there somewhere. You may notice that I got a different water pump, and for this trip, I'm using a more minimal cooking setup. I'll talk more about all that in a future video.
All right, it's about 7:30 in the morning. Camp is all packed up. It's already getting warm. I'm gonna get back on the trail. I need to go down, air up, and head off to the next leg of my adventure. There's a lot more Utah to come, and then some Colorado. So be sure you're subscribed so you don't miss an episode. Thank you for watching.